Give me just a second. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Facebook and LinkedIn land. Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist, here, coming at you from San Diego, a little after 3 in the morning. This is just gonna be called the Insomnia Podcast. But today's gonna be a little different from my usual content. I'm gonna legitimately just talk about building wealth so that you never have to work for anyone again. I'm gonna teach you how I was able to ditch my 9-to-5 and create my own empire based on PR and visibility, and the gradual steps for growth that I feel could be beneficial to you guys. And then I'm also simultaneously shooting a TikTok that'll last about 10 minutes. So this will actually be pretty short. All right, so let's just jump into this. So what I'm going to cover is the first steps you should take. Let's say this is for people that hate their jobs. They're in a dead career, or they're in a career they're miserable. There's either no growth, or they absolutely despise going to work every day. Maybe it's a toxic boss. Maybe it's you just don't like your coworkers. Maybe you don't like what you do. This training is for you. All right, I'm going to start the TikTok. So let me preface this. I'm going to teach you guys how to never have to work for anyone else again. And let me preface this. Work is good for the soul until it's not. I do believe that you should have some really bad jobs so you can appreciate entrepreneurship for sure. Quick introduction. I was a high school teacher. I was a tow truck driver. I was a tech writer for like 10 years, and all of those jobs had inherent flaws. The number one flaw was that I wasn't getting paid what I was worth. And so I ended up going into business for myself, reading like 3 to 5 books and building an empire around PR and business visibility. And I became a visibility strategist, not like a PR person, actually, believe it or not, although I market that way sometimes. Anyway. Okay. So I'm going to give you some tips if you want to start your own business and how to grow it quickly, and some early stage mistakes that I made. The first thing you need to do is define your niche. Who are you selling to? What are you selling? And this training is going to be more for service-based businesses, not goods-based businesses. I did goods in the early days, and it was really rough because I wasn't popular. And my product was medium popular. I had a skateboard company, but it wasn't just crushing the game. And so I ended up tapping out from goods-based. So I went to service-based. Defining your niche will define your audience. It'll define the language that you use. It will define your marketing. Defining your niche is very important. It's important to understand the difference between industry and niche. Your industry is the big general umbrella you work under. My industry technically would be marketing, but your niche is the sniper scope, like very specific subcategory that you work under. And as they say, the niches are in the riches. Once you niche down, you're going to find a very interesting world. And so let's say if you do marketing for just dentists. Okay. First of all, that's an awesome idea, because dentists have a lot of disposable income. They just do, because the nature of what they do. Anybody that bills insurance does pretty well. They probably have the same issues in marketing, and I feel like they would be good customers for several reasons. And then there's a lot of ways you can create opportunities for them, specifically for things in the dental world. Okay. So defining your niche is super important. When I got into entrepreneurship, I just knew, hey, I have a PhD. I'm a smart guy. I want to do something for myself, but that isn't a niche, right? That's just a dumb desire of somebody that recently finished grad school. So I had to figure out my brand identity. I had to figure out what I want to do, what my services were, define all that stuff. And this took me years. But once I figured it out, oh, baby, it's a good life. Number 2 is brand aggressively. So once you decide what you want to be when you grow up, you need to start branding yourself. And a brand is the personality and culture of your business. It's your values, your morals, a combination of like your logo, your website, your imagery, your messaging, your positioning, everything. Brands are fun, or they should be. They should be something that people want to be a part of. I mean, if you really want to look at who has mastered branding, Nike, Apple, McDonald's. Okay. They have, you know what they stand for. Overpriced consumerism, sweatshops, and diabetes. No, I'm kidding. But understand that they are masters of branding. They understand how branding works, and everybody knows them. They're very popular, and they do things that are good for the company and for the brand for the most part. Branding aggressively means you understand your color palette, you understand your logo, what it means. And for example, the Big Country brand, right? This is a sweatshirt for Brian Big Country Conwell. He's one of my PR clients. And Brian, if you just look at this, Brian is a para athlete that does competitions with a prosthetic leg, right? This logo represents Brian. It's very thought out. And it's a silhouette of him on a prosthetic, right? Big Country, that's his brand name. And so right away, I know this means veteran. I know this means, para-athletic events. I know this means courage and resilience, which is why I buy his clothing, because he inspires me. So anyway, take the time to learn about how branding works. It's going to help you. Brand yourself as an expert in whatever your niche is, but you have to have experience. You have to get those early wins, and that is step 3. Early wins means you probably make some low ticket offers so you can get some field experience learning to do whatever it is you want to do. In the early days, I did early stage like media courses. They were like $200 and you got like 5 emails. And you learned about how to create a good media plan. And I collected like, $2,500 or something. Everybody was happy. It was good training. And it was an early stage confidence booster. Your belief systems, you're going to have to believe in yourself. Don't tell anyone what you're doing. If you want to be your own boss, people will say you're crazy because to be an entrepreneur, you do have to be a little crazy. I'll just say it. You have to have the courage to want to work for yourself. You have to have the desire. You have to be a self-motivator, self-starter. You have to keep yourself inspired even when your bank account is 0. But your belief systems have to be strong. In the early days of entrepreneurship for me, I was doing beach runs and I was pursuing a PhD. And I was living in a tiny, tiny studio that was very dark by SDSU. And I was there for like 6-7 years. I really forged my belief systems back then. And I was probably like 32, 33. And I went through every mental aberration you can imagine. Depression. I wasn't suicidal, but I was definitely depressed and mood swings and felt poor every freaking day because I never had money. So your belief systems are important. After that, work on your growth, work on expansion. So if you do a program, let's say you start off and you want to do a program like teaching whatever it is that your niche is. If you shot for 5 people in the last one, shoot for 10 in this one, and then 15, and then 20. But always have a growth plan. Always have expansion in mind. Number 6 is reinvest. It's important to buy equipment. It's important to buy software. It's important to buy experts. All of this stuff will fast track you in your journey to growing your company. Reinvesting is important. The things I reinvested in now, paid ads, a brand strategist that's spectacular, commercials, all kinds of stuff. Reinvesting is important, and it helps you break out of your poverty mindset. And then number 7 is diversify your income streams. So this is a big one. In the early days, the 3 best ways to make income, and TikTok, pay attention, this is important. The 3 best ways to make income are consulting calls, ebooks, and mini courses. And you can make all of these for free and now have a sellable product that is in 2 buy. That means you don't have to interact with people and you can actually auto deliver them, which is awesome. Let's see. What else? Diversifying your income streams is a good way to get a couple $100 each month. And use social media to promote if you can't afford ads. So I wrote and published The Body Man. It's being made into a screenplay and an independent film. So that was pretty awesome. And then I've written 12 other books because I taught myself how to self-publish. One Day Author shows how to speed publish. I wrote this in 9 hours from idea to publish, right? So income streams are a big deal in supplementing your business in the early days. I wrote a book on speed learning as well. So I'm just going through some of the ways that I made money in the early days. Workbooks are huge. Workbooks are still very popular, and especially if you can write in them. And now you can pop QR codes into these to add to the value if somebody buys your workbook. So this is like my visibility workbook, Taxi EQ, and it teaches you how to do like social media and all kinds of stuff. So anyway, point is, guys, you can make a bunch of income streams as much as your time allows for your business, and that will allow extra revenue to come in to support you while you're kind of figuring out the early stage nuances. So TikTok, this is where I bid you adieu. I'll be doing more videos on this. If you like this content, follow my profile, and I will do videos just about every day. And ask me questions if you want to learn how to fire your boss. It's an awesome feeling. So TikTok, I'll see you, and I will talk to you next time. All right. And for the rest of you just stuck around, hang out for just a minute, and we will have some conversations about wealth building. And I'm going to keep this train rolling for as long as I'm awake. For the people watching, by the way, good morning, and throw me a comment. Let me know what you're up to today. I am up early and decided to kind of mix it up and teach wealth building because I want you guys to have a bunch of money and be able to fire your boss if you want to. Yeah, that's who I am. Give me just a second. I'm going to upload this, and then we will have a chat. So stand by for intermission. Carry on. Talk amongst yourselves. The topic is Elon Musk. Is his PR good or bad pairing up with Trump? We will discuss. All right. And what's up, Gus Gonzalez? Good to see you. And Mark Dudek, of course, the hardscape hacker, the master, the king of Ocala. Yeah, I'm up early today. I slept a little weird, and I ended up just popping awake at like, I'll say 3, a little bit before 3. These are like Marine Corps hours, and I will tell you, it feels good. The one thing that's awesome about these hours is that you get stuff done. So Guns, I owe you some scripts and some assets. And Mark, how are things, man? Hope things are going well for you. Almost done. Bear with me. So it's always a bitch when I'm doing like TikTok and then all the other stuff. In today's TikTok, you got to put like all your little stuff on it. Let's see. Almost done, guys. Bear with me. I apologize. I just want to be efficient. Self-employed. All right. So the topic that I was talking about today is how to make enough money to where you don't have to work for anybody ever again. And as soon as you guys niche down, you can start making sales. But I was going over basic business practices, and he's walking on the treadmill, watching this cardio, and moving on the pistol range for Pauls. So it is raining in San Diego, and I'm actually going to go for a beach run today. I am the one thing the Marines and I share in common. If it's raining, I'm training. Great cardio burn. It is freezing ass cold. Like there's literally light rain, and it is almost painful cold. So of course I'm going to go to the beach, and I think my record on a beach run is 9 pounds of water weight. But that was like an 8-miler nonstop, and it was cold and wet and nasty. One time when I was out running at the beach, I actually got on Fox News, and that led to a second appearance in studio. So if I see that Fox News van, I'm going to just make a beeline right for those guys. All right. Self-employed entrepreneur. Let me get this out to the world real quick, so my genius message will be heard by the masses. Let's see. Consulting, entrepreneur, San Diego. Boom, boom, boom. Location. And that is good for now. Awesome. Okay. Let's continue. All right. So, I feel like there's an early stage checklist. And Mark, I'll answer that in just a second, man. Thanks for asking. I feel like there's an early stage checklist for early stage businesses that are tier 3. Tier 3 is 0 to 5,000 a month. Your needs from tier 3 are much different than your needs at tier 1, which is 10,000 a month or more. I dabble between tier 2 and tier 1 at this point. And Mark's asking, how are things going for Garcia Global? So Mark, Garcia Global is going well. It's a little slower than I like, but that's my own doing, because we have a pretty complex marketing system instead of offers. And so I've kind of been taking it really slow, like chessboard slow, so that the actions I take for Garcia Global Media are slow and deliberate, and they're what I call like $1,000 actions. So if I do something for Garcia Global Media, it has to have purpose and intent. When I go on the Facebook page, there is no pop culture. There is no firing from the hip. It's a boutique luxury service. The graphics have to be like very, very high end. And it's literally stepping into the front of a mansion is the way I look at it. And I'm not trying to be all like Tai Lopez fancy, buying or renting my lifestyle, anything like that. Like, I'm not going to be the Lambo guy for sure. But Garcia Global Media is like I said, it's a step up in status, which is why I'm really careful about any moves I make with it. I'm not trying to rush things. All right, so let's keep chatting. We're going out in this broadcast. We're going out to LinkedIn. We're going out to YouTube. We're going out to my Facebook personal and Facebook business page. So in the early stages, if you guys are making less than $5,000 a month from your side hustle, once you've niched down, once you've perfected the service, okay, and this is important. Mike Michalowicz is a multimillionaire. I interviewed him a couple of times. He's written a lot of business books. I asked him about the tier system, and he said it was perfect, and that was good enough for me. Mike is very, very successful. He wrote the pumpkin plan. He wrote like fix this next. I have all his business books because Mike is just a straight shooter and a good dude. He's been in Shift twice. But understand, guys, that once Escape Ridge, yeah, I love it. Once your service is defined, okay, it's important to educate your audience, and it's important to connect with your audience. And marketing to just everybody is not the move. Marketing to people that are in your enthusiastic audience is the move. And so how do we do this? One of the things that I teach is my 5-step method: attract, connect, create value times 2, qualify, sell. And so if I were to like come in as a consultant, right, for what Gus is doing and for what Mark is doing, the plans would be very different. And it all revolves around education and connection. Okay. And this will be a good mental exercise. You guys are catching me right as I took like brain drugs and I have coffee and I just had a cold shower. So this is probably the smartest I'm going to be all day. I would really take advantage of this. And Mark says spray and pray bad, sniper marketing good. Yes. Okay. So speaking purely from a revenue generation place, here's the situation for both of you guys. Gus Gonzalez makes short form videos perfect for TikTok or Instagram, for any business, that are filled with like cool dynamic effects, sound effects, captioning, letters, all kinds of fancy fonts, and just really good music. His services are really good, proven performance from his clients, including myself. Right, I cannot shout out this business enough at Cadre Media. It definitely catches eyes. It's a perfect business. So now he's defined. He can deliver it. His business model is not geographically constrained. He's allowed to serve anyone, anywhere in the world. And that allows him to expand his marketing efforts. Now, the problem is that he needs more education for his audience, because this is a Robism. Your audience only knows what you tell them. And so if Gus focuses on making his own video, talking, and he's just sitting there, don't do this in uniform, because you never want to do things in uniform that are connected to business. I got popped for that. You just want a picture of you sitting there, a montage, and then a collection of videos that you've done for various people, myself, Ted, whoever else. Just talk about the power and keep the message simple, man. Hey, the power of short form video. Do you want more, do you want more eyes on what you're doing? Short form video is the hottest trend of 2025. Here are a few that I've made. Here are some stats that the people are saying. And then, Gus, get a 1-sentence testimonial from everybody. I'll provide one in a second. You just want it really simple, and you want to display it with either people talking, right? So just people, a little montage of people, 1-sentence video. Cadre Media's videos changed my business. 40,000 views. Thank you, Cadre Media. Just simple, man. Get 2 or 3 of those, or something that has the words floating down the screen saying, here's what people are saying about Cadre Media's video production service. And then you can just have it scroll in the quotes, whatever. But the point is, that's positioning, proof of concept right there. And then a very violent and very direct call to action, with a hard number. New client, want to introduce the power of short form video to your business? Check out my 2025 new client offer, $797 for 3 premium videos. That's what I would do. Accurately priced, not a ton of work, good amount, but fair market value for what you do. It's actually low for what you do. I think your video is worth $1,000 each. That's me. So anyway, that's what I would do if I wanted to murder the game at videos. And then have ChatGPT create you a 30-day Facebook plan for talking about the power of short form video, and make a couple of very obnoxious graphics on Canva. And by obnoxious, I mean like bright colors, big fonts, screenshots, whatever, but really attention getting, couple of hashtags, and then tag like 5 veterans. And, every time I see your stuff, Gus, I share it, period, dot. I love your services. I like you as a human being too. You know that. But you do that and you commit to it once a day, you're going to see more traffic coming in. It's an under-marketed, amazing service. So that's how I would get a lot of people flocking to Cadre Media. For Dudek, his story is interesting. So Dudek's the CSD Hardscapes owner. He sells outdoor hardscapes, which are like fire pits or like lagoons or outdoor projects to beautify your home. So this does geographically constrain him. He's in Ocala, Florida, and I've always told him to be the king of Ocala. Now, here's the thing. Because of Mark's price point, that's always been tricky, because the price point for Mark's stuff starts at over $1,000. Now, here are a few things I've learned, Mark, that might help you. It's not a product problem. It's an audience problem. And so you're creating all this amazing content on LinkedIn. I see your stuff, and it's gotten so much better. Tons of improvement, man. But just like me, when I go on LinkedIn, sometimes I feel like you're talking to air, and sales don't come from talking to air unless you're having conversations. And so it's important that you're talking to the right people. I would honestly put a small marketing budget into Facebook ads that are geographically based. And dude, you can get 2,000, 5,000 people seeing your ad for like $50 for 4 days. And if even one person buys from you, think about that return on investment. Wouldn't that feel good to get like a $1,500 or $1,200 fire pit sale for like throwing $50 into an ad? And yes, teaching your industry is important, for sure. It's one of the 4 tenets of tactical CEQ. But audience building is everything. Be popular. I think be popular is more. I'm going to veer to that as a tactic, as a strategic tactic, is being popular. And a lot of people know you, and now it's time to get the right people to know you. And because your business is geographically constrained, we talk about being the king of Ocala. I think I've told you that for 5 years because it's the strategy that'll work. You have to think location based. You have to do things that are in your area that'll get you press to your company. And then people are going to buy. And Mark, you don't have to be good at Facebook ads. You need, here's what you need. Seriously, if I was going to sell something at your price point in your industry, you could either do a really nice still photo, and I know you got some good ones, with some good copy. Use ChatGPT to write out your Facebook post. Surprisingly good at Facebook posts. Some of the other stuff, I don't know. And then maybe a video. If Gus does create you a video, run ads to it. And honestly, running ads, you only need a couple things. I've been doing quite a bit of Facebook ads lately. You just need a location, like a geographical designator that's within 30 miles of where you're at. So you can choose the town or the region. You can do all of Florida. I wouldn't. I would pick the nearest, I think it's Orlando or Tampa. Pick whichever one is nearest to you, or pick Ocala. Because you can, I think you can pick multiple locations as well. We got Big Country popping on. What's going on, brother? Yeah, I'm beach running today, so I'm getting my inspiration. So Mark, now you got this geographically placed ad. You're gonna pick your demographics. You know you need people that have money, so they've got to be over about 35, and they've got to be homeowners. And honestly, it's going to be mostly men. I feel like your customer base would be 35 to 62 men, Ocala, Florida, and that's your Facebook ad. And then you can even pick interests and occupation. And if you want to pair up with designers and construction people, you can use those as keywords. This is how you narrow down your Facebook ads so the right people see it. So I've been dabbling more into this, and I do like targeted demographics in my Facebook ads. It's gotten better. It's gotten closer to who I need to be. You have a unique price point, so you need people with some money. They have to be a homeowner. So your client avatar, man, you actually have some like crazy, not limitations, but just specific checklists. They have to own the home. They have to have a little bit of disposable income. And you can even choose occupations. So for people that see the ad. So one thing I do, if I want people that are a little bit more wealthy, I pick occupations like pilot, lawyer, doctor, CEO, business owner, things like this. And this is targeted demographics. And it even lets you pick like top 5% income for that zip code. So these are all little things that you're going to look at when you're targeting your ads. And Mark says we can do B2B as well. Yeah, don't overthink it. B2B isn't bad either. and you can make some kind of a deal with local contractors, designers, landscapers. That's a different ad though. And that's one thing, Mark. Confucius says, man who chases two rabbits goes, eagle that chases two rabbits goes home hungry, something like that. Target each ad for a specific group. So one ad should be the consumer, the homeowner, right? The other ad should be designers, landscapers, construction owners, developers. Developers, I feel like, would be your bread and butter that you haven't tapped into yet. And I mean, dude, this is the serious part, Mark. I feel like if you put in some dedicated like focus hours, okay, and this is what I'm doing. I'm focusing on certain very specific things in my business. This is why I'm up at like 3 a.m. making insane videos. I feel if you put in 1.5 hours of research every week and made an audience list, you would get more sales and you'd get more responses to what you're doing. Like I said, a specific audience is targeted. And so it's not enough to just go on social media and say, hey, I sell these awesome landscapes, hardscapes, buy one from me, because the price point's too high. And here's I had the biggest light bulb about you a couple weeks ago. Nobody is buying from a button click at that price point. You have to get on calls with people. And anytime you're selling something for like $500 or above, you have to get on a sales call. You just do. So in that case, if I were to come in and like develop your audience for you, like I said, 1.5 hours a week, it's not a lot of time. It's 30 minutes for 3 days, whatever. This is exactly what I would do. I would either do a search for the word developer on LinkedIn and Facebook and either find everyone in Florida, and you can do it by developer or you can do it by Florida, but you have to find somebody that checks certain boxes, or you can just Google search or chat GPT, developers in Florida, developers in Orlando, developers in Tampa, developers in Jacksonville. Learn everything you can about the developer game, right? And then start creating content for them. Because I think developers and construction owners are the two that probably have the deepest pockets that are going to look at this stuff when they're doing their future projects. Developers are the ones that hire contractors. So those are going to be the ones. And once you have a developer that checks the box, and this is location based, Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, once you get 20 names, 25 names, then you go fucking ham on videos, on ebooks, on teaching, and you really talk about getting outdoor hardscapes into their brain, the advantage of outdoor hardscapes, and you start tagging 2 or 3 of them, different ones every time. Keep rotating the list. Set up conversations with them. But the problem, Mark, up to this point is just, like I said, audience. Audience is everything. I know who hires me for the most part. It's either professional women in their 40s that need visibility, or male veterans from about 38 to 52 that are experts in something. They just have zero marketing and zero PR, and their business systems are slightly skewed because of that. And then, I get some randos for side projects that are a little wild. Maybe it's an event, whatever. All right. No problem, Mark. Enjoy your work day, man. And reach out if you got specific questions. All right. So we've talked about 2 different business models and how to augment. Understand audience and popularity is a lot more important than people think. You have to be likable. Some of the ways that I'm likable is I donate to causes. Like if I see somebody that has a GoFundMe and it's for, you know, a good reason, um, I'll donate to it. I wish people happy birthdays on Facebook, and I'm talking custom messages. I usually don't like swoop in and just a boring happy birthday. I try and say something funny, um, something that hopefully won't lead to a divorce. Um, I make sure to have conversations with people, and I try and offer advice that's helpful to realtors, especially. Realtors in San Diego, I feel like are an untapped market for me because a lot of them have no idea that I can probably get them on TV. I can help them with business articles. I can help them get that audience and that attention that they need, because real estate is the popularity game for sure. Um, and I feel like there's an overabundance of all the San Diego real estate agents fighting each other in the world's biggest beauty pageant. It's not enough to be dressed nice and be attractive. I mean, that's part of the game. I get it. But if you're not talking about your services, if you're not talking about what competitive advantage you offer, if you're not talking about what you've done for your past clients, if you're not using innovative methods like drone footage and, you know, housewarming gifts that are unique and special, if you're not highlighting your buyers or your sellers, these things matter, right? I see my Facebook is inundated. I have a lot of real estate agents on my friends list. And if you're just treating it like Instagram, you're leaving money on the table, period, dot. I'm all about flaunting looks if you have them. I clearly do not have them. I am a very average looking person. I have to rely on results and intelligence, like in what I do. And so image is important, but I feel like real estate agents are using that. A lot of them use it as their crutch. And I feel like they'd do better in business if they focus on connection with audience and they focused on really getting to the root psychologically of why people should use them. Every real estate, and this is a whole different training, but every real estate agency in San Diego, I feel, is doing the exact same shit. And it all looks the same to me. There is nothing unique about almost any of you. And that should be a big warning flag, because guess what? If I'm unimpressed by you, so are your buyers. So are your sellers. There's nothing, wow, it's 17 good-looking real estate people who are just sharing glamour photos, right? That doesn't tell me anything about what you do, what the process is like, what your strengths are, what are your success stories. And that'll be another training in the future before I piss off all the real estate agents in San Diego. And I'm not denigrating you guys. I'm not saying anything bad about you. I just feel like the marketing is exactly the same. It's like you're all a cookie cutter from the same factory, right? You need to be unique. You need to stand out. You need to do things that make you likable to your audience. Because honestly, when I'm looking at my friends on Facebook that do real estate, it's just listing after listing after listing, and then a team photo of 12 of the most attractive women you've ever seen in your life. Welcome to San Diego. But the problem with that is, guess what? Every single real estate agency is doing that. And that is not standing out. That is not unique. That is not attracting people to you for the right reasons. Okay. What makes your real estate company likable? That's what you have to ask yourself. All right. And like I said, I'll probably do a live training this week just for real estate agents and how to grow their audiences and how to leverage the power of PR. That is one thing I don't think I've ever had, is a real estate visibility client. And if you are one in San Diego, if you're watching this, there's so much out there potential wise. You've got TikTok. You've got a radio station in San Diego devoted to interviewing real estate agents. You've got a magazine called the Real Women of San Diego, or Real Men of San Diego, or something, put out by Marie Waite. That's very real estate heavy. You have San Diego Magazine. You've got all the TV stations. You've got independent media. You have all these platforms that you could be getting interviews on. And then you media stack. Okay. Um, it's important that real estate agents are doing more than just their social media in order to grow. Social media is cool. Some of your stuff is beautiful. It's a lot better than mine as far as marketing goes. But like I said, if it's just those two things, it's a very basic plan. And every one of your competitors is doing the same thing. So just food for thought. I'll have some advice a little bit later. All right. That's about all I got for today. It's almost 4 o'clock. I'm probably going to hit the beach in about an hour. I want to thank you guys for checking out this training, for growing your business and getting your business independence so you don't have to work for anybody else. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. If you get a chance and you like hot sauce, check out Bad Boy. This is red pepper punch. You can get it at badboyeats.com. It's an amazing product. I put this one in my chili, and it's incredible. Made by Sean Kanan, Cobra Kai actor and star of Karate Kid 3. Check it out at badboyeats.com. I'm Rob Garcia, the Warrior Strategist. And as always, stay famous. See you next time.